Hey everyone, welcome back here to my channel where I play Bia Zoo. My name is Nisse and today I built all of this, and this video may be a little bit delayed. I'm sorry about that, but I don't record every single piece of this video at the same time. Normally this intro, outro, I make them when I already have makeup on, so I plan to do that yesterday, Friday, but doing my live stream on my second channel, I spilled a lot of hot chocolate in my keyboard and broke my keyboard. So I couldn't record it before now because my lovely brother came with one for me. Luckily, it was Black Friday, so I got it cheap. But yeah, sorry if this gets too late, now you know why. But let's get into the video. Okay, and let's start with honesty. I always try to plan my Saturday live stream, sorry, not live streams, Saturday speed builds so they are a little bit longer than my Wednesday because I gather that more people are busy on Wednesdays and therefore don't have the same amount of time. And I thought this would going to be the biggest build I built in the zoo, so of course I wanted to do it on Saturday. It is bigger. Well, not bigger than the savannah, but it is bigger than most bulls I have in here. But it doesn't take that much time as I feared. So yeah, I'm sorry you don't get that long speed build as you usually do. I know it's a question about minutes, but it's just for me it makes a difference. So I just wanted to say, yeah, you guys who followed me for some time now, you know when I have something in my head, I need to say it. Otherwise, I just won't be able to gather my thoughts about anything else. So now I said it, so now I can relax and focus on the animals in here. And I lied, guys. I lied in my thumbnail. Because this is a Hippopotamus. It's a hippo habitat. Let's just face it. It is that. But I wanted it to be more lively, more like this was a piece of water that was already here with what that comes to. So it also a gathering place for wild flamingos, as well as we have some natural wildlife in the water already, being fish, and that is the Kafue Killifish. I do, however, still plan to focus completely on the hippos today. However, I will still leave link to Animalia's side on the flamingos and the killifish, of course. So if you want to go and read them yourself, you can certainly do that. I just want to this illusion that this is a natural area that was fenced in and then used for the hippos. And there I can already take myself in my first live today, so that's great. Animalia don't have a site for killifish at all. So instead, I found killy.co.uk. It's linked below. It seems to have a lot of good information, including a lot of the beautiful pictures from all the various colorations they come in. So I do recommend making that extra read. But back to the hippos. Anyway, the hippo we are gonna focus on here is normally called either the common hippo or the common hippopotamus. Also, just call it hippo. And as you can hear, I have a hard time pronouncing the complete name, so I'm just gonna say hippo. But normally when a animal have a really weird name, it comes from somewhere, and in this case it comes from Greek, where it means river horse. Funny enough, this river horse is also what we call it in Denmark. Here it's just flodhest in Danish, but it means river horse too. So actually making more sense with the naming suddenly for me. I do not want to waste anyone's time by telling you what it looked like, because if you ever seen a hippo, you know what a hippo looks like. Even if you ever been described a hippo, you will never have a chance to picture what it looks like, and I can't really describe that any better than a picture can, so we're gonna leave it there. It is, however, able to run up to 30 kilometers per hour, being 19 miles per hour in a very short distance, not for a long time, but they are able to move that fast on land despite their not that agile appearance. And just in case anyone was wondering which hippo we are talking about, it's the big one. It's the one from Africa. It's the massive one. It's the not Indian one. Just to clarify that. It's the not pygmy one. Anyway. They live in a lot of places in Africa. And I'm not gonna tell you every single country here because it's a lot. But basically from the middle and downwards. So it's not in the north, but mostly middle and downward. And then I think it's the Nile going up through Africa, where they also live. And that's pretty much that. Yeah, they live, of course, around lakes, rivers, but also like scrubland, wetlands, because they also go on land. Areas, I'm not sure what that is, but in freshwater, normally swamp, forest, grassland, savanna, riparian, rainforest, coastal area. So we also have a little saltwater there, neritic zones, so blackish water, and marine areas. And they do prefer to stay around the tropical and the temperate climate zones, which most of us actually prefer most of the time. Have you ever looked at a hippo and thought, what do they think? Do they think? Would creatures like this be able to think? And honestly, they must be able to think a lot because they have a very precise structure of their entire life. For instance, they live in groups from 20 to 100 individuals. Just recognizing and remembering 100 individuals is very hard for many animals. For instance, chickens can recognize and remember about 30 individuals. Over that, they will feel like everyone is a stranger. 100 individuals is a lot. But besides that, the structure is also very, very clever thought out, to be honest. The females is the middle of the group, both metaphorically but also literally. They will always be placed in the middle, and then a single female will be the one deciding everything for the entire group. When do we go? When do we leave? Where do we go? When do we eat? They eat most of the time. But the single female will decide that. Then we have the kids running around in between the females and around the females. And then we have the males at the outer corners around everyone because they are the protectors. They need to protect both the females and the young. So they are placed all the way out there. They don't have anything to say. They are just guard dogs. Again, it's not, I do not hate men, but to be able to make a system as inclined as this takes up a lot of brain power. And the female hippos were able to do something us as humans haven't been able to do for a long time, being the boss, basically. Because of this structure, the females and males doesn't really interact that much throughout the year, unless they're talking about mating. Males will also be more aggressive than females because the only reason they have to be aggressive is either to fight for a right to a female during mating time, or it could be because they are at the edge of the group. And if the water hole is only so big, they also want to get down there and cool off. They don't want to stay on land and bake in the sun while everyone else is in the pool. So therefore, they can also choose to fight over that. But one thing you may not know about hippos is that they are nocturnal animals, not completely like in the most typical sense that they sleep all day and or awake all night, but they are active from the sun go down to the sun go up. During the day, they will rest a lot in the water or under foliage or other cold places because, yeah, and I can say this because I gained a lot of weight the last year. And us fatties don't work in the sun, basically. We get too hot. That's just what it is. And the hippo is just another fatty out there. And I mean that with all the love in the world. And when it comes to food, I'm also a little shocked because I have seen videos, pictures in the zoo, hippos being in the water and just eating whatever is down there. But that's actually not what they do in the wild. They are graminivores, I think it's called. And it means that they primarily feed off grass. Again, there's a lot of long grass on the savanna in Africa. No questions there, but it's just not a grass thing looking animal, to be honest. They do still consume some amount of aquatic plants, but their entire digestive system is made for grass, and that's what they need to eat, where aquatic plants is more like what they choose to eat, if you can. It's kind of like the vegetables and the cake. Like, you need the vegetable, you want the cake. For mating season, they do not actually have a mating season because they can't breed year-round, but it mostly happens between February and August, where there's more food, more water, everyone is having fun. Yeah, you know that deal. So there's just getting more babies made in that season, basically, because of that. One male will normally mate with multiple females, and this is of course because there are fewer of the males. Again, they will fight over the females, but also because they are the protectors of the group. They are the one fighting on the edge of the group, so they are also the ones that doesn't survive that long. And as there isn't a mating season per se, there isn't really a baby season either. Again, with some months being more hectic than others, but the pregnancy will go on for about 240 days. And after that, the female will give birth completely underwater, and she will give birth to a single baby. The baby will then, as I mentioned earlier, be in the group, play around, have fun for about 18 months, being 1.5 years. After that, of course, it will find its place in the group, either as a male or as a female. Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes I figure out what is animals or another gender that what they appear like, how the herd would react to that. We know we have homosexual animals in the wild, but what about animals that are transgender? I'm not sure. I would love to know. So if anyone knows anything about that, please tell me. It doesn't need only to be hippos, just animals in general. I'm really interested to know. But let's talk a little bit about the threats of the hippo. And here I'm gonna read up, some things I want to make clear. And to do that, I need to read it up. Again, it is from animalia.bio. I don't read everything up from the website, so I still recommend you read more for yourself. But this part I just want to make clear, so I'm gonna read it. There's two main threats of the common hippo today: hunting and loss of habitat. In former times, common hippos used to occupy a large territory extending from the Nile Delta to the Cape. The current range of the species is restricted to protected areas. Hippos are directly killed uh, for their meat, fat, as well as their ivory tusk, which are highly valued. Additionally, hundreds of individuals are shot annually by humans who try to escape possible conflicts with these animals. Although ditches and low fence are able to prevent unwanted encounters. On the other hand, the growing human population in the area leads to habitat destruction in a form of settlement, agriculture, and roads. So I think this is something we all can recognize, and because of these things, the hippos are at this point vulnerable, not critical endangered or anything like that yet, but it is kind of stupid that they are killed for their tusk or just because people don't have sufficient fins or ditches to keep them out of the area. Anyway, enjoy the cinematics and you know the drill. I come back afterwards. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you today. You know the drill. Like, subscribe, and turn on the bell notification so you know the next time I upload a video. Really hope to see you again. I'll line in the comments below or in the next video. Bye, guys.